Hi everyone, good morning. So before we begin, I just want to do a short sound check. Can you all hear me clearly? Please drop a comment in the live chat so that I know that you guys can hear me clearly. Um, so, all right, good. Thanks for those who are here uh, at this moment. Can I guess you all can hear me, lah, kan? Because nobody is saying yes, so I'm not sure. Oh. Can you all hear me? Please let me know. All right, thank you. Okay, so let's begin our class today. Today we're going to be looking into a new chapter, which is called Indices and Surds. What I want you to do is to take out your textbook and open to page 91. Okay, open to page 91. And we're going, sorry, actually 90 lah. You know what, page 90. Okay, we're going to start this chapter by looking into several examples from the textbook. And then after that, I want you to try a few questions on your own. Okay, page 90 in your textbook, 90. Okay, muka surat 90 dalam buku teks anda. Okay, and I'm going to share my screen with you so that you guys can see what I'm writing. Okay, page 90 muka surat 90 di dalam buku teks. Okay, page 90 in your textbook. So let me see where my okay. So page 90 Okay, so this chapter this chapter is the final chapter, okay, in your syllabus for Form 4. And because we still have some time, I'm going to slowly go through this chapter. Once we finish this chapter, then we are going to go back into linear law again. Because ada satu bahagian in linear law kan yang melibatkan this one about logarithms, yang saya belum cover lah. Okay, then we really finish our syllabus. So I'm going to go through this chapter. Once we finish it, then we'll go back to linear law. But this is essentially the last chapter in this series for this year lah. Okay, so this chapter has three main components, which is indices, surds, and logarithms. Okay, three concepts that are connected. Okay, that are connected. But we're going to start with the most basic one, which is indices lah. Okay, so what are indices? So we are very used to seeing numbers like this, contohnya 2 to the power of 3, okay, or a to the power of 4, or 3 to the power of x. Okay, so numbers that involve powers, sebenarnya there is a technical term for this lah. Okay, so let's say for example, this one a to the power of 4. So this number a, we call this number the base. Okay, if you remember your Form 3, actually this is nothing new lah. Ini sudah kau belajar di Form 3, but I'm just gonna ulang kaji balik lah. So the number at the bottom here, the big number yang kena power, okay, is called the base number. And the power itself, yang kita selalu cakap kuasa-kuasa itu kan, that is actually called an index. Okay, so index is singular, kalau plural lah is indices lah. Okay, ini plural, not indexes lah. Tiada juga perkataan indexes begini. Ini lain maksudnya. Okay, ini salah. Okay, so the plural of index is called indices. So 3, 4, and x over here are known as indices. 2, a, and 3 are known as base. Okay, now when we understand what is the concept of base and index, then the laws of indices make a little bit more sense to us lah. Okay, I'm going to change color. So there are three basic laws of indices that you need to know. Okay, law number 1, okay, is that if you have two base that is connected by a multiply, Okay, so the operation between two base is multiply, but the base is the same base. Okay, tetapi the index for each base is different. So for example, a to the power m multiply by a to the power n. Same base, multiply. Okay, so what happens is the law of indices tells us that this one when we combine, dia akan jadi the same base, but the indices will be add. Okay, so to sort of cut it short, because okay, ramai orang yang I mean after a while you get used to, when you're so used to this one, you always tend to forget. Remember, so same base, okay, same base multiply. Okay, indices will become add. Okay, kalau the same base kita multiply, okay, the indices yang kita kasih campur. Okay, we don't multiply the indices. Okay, kita tidak mendarab the index. Okay, and that's the first law. The second law says that if your indices, if your base is divided, okay, atau A divide by A, macam ni. Okay, we divide the base. Same base kita divide. Okay, this only works, guys. This only works if the base is the same. If the base is different kan, nothing. Tiada kaitan langsung. Okay, the base must be the same. The only one that is different is the indices. So remember this, laws of indices must be same base, okay, but different index. Okay, so that's the syarat. If the base is not the same, then we don't touch. Okay, so in this case, if you have same base but dua-dua dihubungkan oleh tanda bahagi atau your favorite lah per, okay, yang saya sudah banyak kali cakap is bahagi. So whether it is this or this, the law of indices tells us that the base will be combined, but the indices will be minus. Okay, erti kata pendek. Okay, erti kata pendek same base divide the indices will be minus. Okay, notice that the one yang kena tambah dan tolak adalah indices sahaja. The base got nothing to do. Okay, ini syarat. Okay, the syarat is the same base divide, or the syarat is the same base multiply. Okay, so that's the first two laws of indices. Now the third and the final law, is if you have one base and one index, okay, and you power the index again, wow, imagine this is okay, so what happens over here will be, this will be a to the power of m multiplied by n. This is the only time, okay, ini saja masanya, okay, bila kuasa itu didarab. Okay, this is the only time when the kuasa will be didarab. Okay, where this one okay, where a base number with one index dikuasa oleh another index, then you will find that the index akan berdarab. Okay, and these are the three basic laws of logarithms that we have to remember. But of all the three, the third is usually the easiest. Most people remember the third, and most people will be confused with the first and second. Okay, remember, the condition for the first and the second law is that you must have the same base. Okay, then you can add the indices or minus the indices. You cannot multiply the indices if the same base is multiplied. No, okay, the condition is same base multiply or same base divide. Okay, the action is the indices will be added or the indices will be minus. So the first thing that I want you to kuasai, okay, at least for today okay, the first thing that is probably for me the most important thing and I don't want to rush through this because this one is very important for your work next year. So this one you really need to kuasai. Okay, and a lot of people find this topic difficult because it involves a lot of letters and a lot of numbers. Okay, but actually, if you think about it, it's it's not that difficult lah. You just have to remember and do a lot of practice. Okay, so now turn to page 91 in your textbook. I want to discuss several examples. Okay, and this is our main work for today lah. Okay, the main thing I want you to do today is to learn how to simplify. Okay, sorry. Okay. Oh, sorry, I don't have the undo button over here. Sorry. Okay, erase. Okay, so the main thing that I want to do today is to simplify. Okay, so you have all these expressions, kan? I want you to simplify it. Okay, so take a look at this. The first thing you need to make sure is which are the same base. Okay, this is base 4, this is base 4, this is base 4. So we can actually basically combine this. Okay, I can actually change this to 4 to the power of 2n, okay, multiply by 4 to the power of m, divide by 4 to the power of n. Boleh. Okay, it's the same thing. Okay, that's why I said lah, jangan terlalu kaget oleh ini per ini. Ramai orang nampak ni per kan terus dia jam. No, it's actually just divide. Okay, so because the base is the same, therefore we can perform the operation on the index. So this is times, so this will be plus. That's why you see the plus over here. Okay, and since this is divide, so this m and this n will be minus. Okay, and then when you do the operation on the index, on the indices, 2n minus n will be n, plus m will be nothing lah. Okay, then tinggalkannya begini saja. Okay, jangan kamu sibuk-sibuk, don't know what you want to do. This tiada, there's nothing much you can do. Okay, it's already simplified. Okay, now this one is different. Okay, look at the operation over here. This is minus. Okay, now if you have a minus, okay, sign over here. If you have a plus or minus, here is a tip. Okay, if you have a plus or minus sign in between bases, okay, usually we will factorize. Okay, this is where it starts to get a bit more tough lah. But so the first thing we have to do is, since this is 3m plus 2, okay, what you need to do is you need to separate it. Okay, so this is something that a lot of people tend to forget. Sebenarnya kan dia adalah dari kiri ke kanan dan dari kanan ke kiri pun boleh ya. Okay, everybody likes to think of it one way. Oh, okay, kalau darab ini dia akan jadi campur. Tapi most people forget that it works the other way around. Kalau ini campur, bila kita perlukan, you can actually separate it untuk menjadi begini. Okay, so we have to learn to be flexible with these laws. Okay, jangan satu hala saja. It works both ways. Okay, dia boleh kanan ke kiri, kiri ke kanan. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so this is what is happening over here. This guy is splitting this tambah over here untuk menjadi ini. Now, kenapa dia mau buat begini ya? It's because dia mau factorize. Okay, kalau saya tulis ini balik, if I write this again, this will be 3m 32 minus 3 to the power m over 3 to the power m. Okay, this is what is happening over here. So that this 3 to the power m can be factorized out. Okay, notice that these dua sebutan ini kan dua-dua ada 3 to the power m, which is what he's doing over here. Okay, 3 to the power m kasih keluar, tinggal 3 squared minus 1. So kalau kau sudah kasih keluarkan 3m kan, tinggal 1. Okay, so this one will be cut. Okay, so this one, and this answer is correct lah. 3 squared minus 1. Kalau kau tekan di calculator, is 9 minus 1 is 8. Okay, and that's the answer. So the B, okay, B is meant to teach us two things lah. Number one, you will have to learn that this one can work the other way around. Jangan sahala saja. Number two, learn how to factorize sebutan yang sama. Okay, also a very important skill. Okay, example C. example C is an example that involves different number, different base, and different index. Okay, so let's take a look at it. It looks very complicated, right? Actually, it's not that complicated. Let's think about it. So 5x minus 1, 5x to the power minus 1, then you kuasa 3. Then 4xy squared divide by x. Wow, so many things lah. Okay, now what I usually like to do, and I think this book also does the same, okay, is number 1, to separate out all the numbers. Okay, all the different bases, all the numbers can usually we separate it out. But the operation, it remains the same. So this will be, if I just use the number lah, okay, this is 5, this is 4, and this number is 1. So the numbers will be 5 times 4 divided by, 5 cube, okay, times 4 divided by 1. Kenapa 5 cube? Sebab ini ada kurungan dan dikuasa 3. Okay, now if I take the x, x will be minus 1 times 3. Because remember the third law from here, right? So the indices will be multiplied. So minus 1 times 3 will be x minus 3. Okay, negative 1 darab 3 will be negative 3. Okay, darab, this will be x kuasa 1. Okay, divide by x kuasa negative 4. Okay, do you see that? X kuasa negative 3 darab 1 divide by x kuasa negative 4. Now, if I consider the y, sini tiada y, so nothing. But here got y, so this will be y squared divide by y kuasa negative 4. Okay, now by doing this separately, okay, I can see it more clearly lah. Okay, just last kan kau kasih gabung je semua. So 5 5 to the power of 3, okay, times 4 divided by 1. Okay, this is a basic calculator pressing lah. Okay, you press on the calculator, 5 to the power of 3, 5 to the power of 3 times 4 divided by 1. You get 500. Okay, so that's why you get 500 over here. Now, x to the power of negative 3 times x divided by x to the power of negative 4. Okay, now we can use all the laws of indices over here. Okay, and what we will get is x to the power of negative 3 plus x minus negative 4. Okay, now remember, the reason why I can do this is because the base is the same. So same base, so the operation will be plus and minus. So sini adalah plus, negative 3, this is 1. Oh, sorry, my mistake. This is not x, this is 1. Oh dear. Okay, this should actually be 1. Because sini adalah kuasa 1, remember. Kalau tiada kuasa, maksudnya dia adalah kuasa 1. Okay, kalau dia kuasa kosongan, kau tidak akan nampak tu x. Okay, so x to the power negative 3 plus 1 minus negative 4. And this one is a simple calculator pressing. You will get x to the power of 2. Now, last of all is y squared divided by negative 4. This will give you y squared minus negative 4. This one will give you y to the power of 6. Now, you can always do it the textbook way lah, also no problem, okay? But for me, I like to separate it out and then I combine it back together so that I can see clearly one by one, okay? Ini boleh, you can follow this. It's a bit kalut lah, okay? Bukan karut lah, dia bukan karut, tapi dia kalut sikit lah because it's complicated. Everything is everywhere at once. Okay, I like to separate it out so that I can see it clearly for myself. Okay, numbers with numbers and all the same base together. Okay, look at example D. Example D is slightly also the same. This is 4 and 4. Okay, so this will be 4 to the power of 1 times 4 to the power of negative 4. Okay, this 4 and negative 4 saya kasih combine. Then A to the power of 3 times A to the power of negative 4. Okay, A to the power 3, A to the power of negative 4. Now B to the power 2 times, okay, this one B3 and then darab negative 4. So it's B to the power of negative 12. Okay, so this one, when we combine, okay, bila kita tekan calculator kan, we get 1 over 64. Okay, this one will become a to the power of negative 1, and this one will become b to the power of negative 10. So I can always write it as this, 1 over 64, a to the power of negative 1, and b to the power of negative 10. Now, the purpose of this example and the reason why I'm doing this to show you is because final answer, okay, final answer tidak boleh negatif kuasa. Okay, so you have to do an extra step over here, which brings me to the law number 4, which is not really a law lah, okay, actually. So, a to the power of negative m, contohnya, okay, equals to 1 over a to the power of m. Okay, sebagai contoh, okay, as an example, okay, 2 to the power of negative x is equals to 1 over 2 to the power of x. Okay, or another one, another example would be 3a to the power of negative 2. Okay, now this one is a bit different. Remember, yang kena kuasa negatif adalah a sahaja. So, yang kena kuasa negatif saja yang kau letak di bawah. A to the power of 2. So, what happens to the 3? The 3 kita kasih tinggal di atas sini. Okay, we don't change the position of the 3 lah. Okay, so this law number 4 is something that people tend to forget lah, which is why I left it until the last one. Which is why this one, 1 over 64, dia memang nombor sedia lah. Okay, a to the power negative 1, kita jadi kuasa a kuasa 1. Tapi a kuasa 1 kita biasanya tidak tulis. Kita tulis a sahaja. B kuasa negatif 10 akan jadi b kuasa 10 di bawah. Okay, so a lot of people find this chapter difficult because they kind of like don't know how to work around the laws. Okay, so how do you familiarize yourself with the laws? Macam mana kamu mau biasakan diri dengan laws ini? Kamu kena banyak buat latihan. Okay, I mean this is a very this is a very basic skill lah. If you want to mahir dalam sesuatu perkara, you have to do a lot of practice. Okay, if you want to be a good musician, you have to practice a lot. If you want to be a good actor, you have to practice a lot. Same thing with maths, and especially with this chapter. If you want to be good at this chapter, you have to do a lot of practices. Kalau setakat menjawab satu atau dua soalan, bahkan it's nothing lah. Okay, it's not. We're talking about 100 to 200 exercises. Then you will be pro. Okay, but itulah. If you want to do 100 to 200 exercises, you have to commit. Okay, kamu kena commit. You have to give your commitment to this. Okay, and that's how you can be mahir in this chapter. All right, I'm going to do one more example and then I'm going to leave you to do your work. So now, all these examples are there for a different reason. Okay, and the reason why I chose this. Okay, so first of all is this. A to the power of negative 1 over 3 times 2a to the power of negative half. Okay, now notice that they separate out the number and also this one together. And then this one, what happens is dia letak satu ini. Okay, now then after that, negative 1 over 3 plus negative half, tekan calculator saja, so dia tambah, kau akan dapat 2 kuasa A to the power negative 5 over 6. Okay, and you can leave it as such. Okay, but because it's negative, remember I said from the previous example, jawapan akhir tidak boleh ada negative index. So you have to change it to positive by bringing it down. Okay, and that's solution for A lah. Okay, for B, look, 2a to the power of negative 2 per a to the power of negative 3 over 2. Nah, saya sudah cakap per ini sebenarnya adalah divide. So when you do the divide, okay, and since this number 2 is alone, okay, so kasih biar je the number 2, do the operation on the a. So negative 2 minus negative 3 over 2. Then you do this, you get the same thing. This is the same thing as example A. Okay, jawapan akhir tidak boleh ada kuasa negatif, So kau kena tukarkan yang jadi positif dengan memindahkannya ke bawah. Okay, this is the last one. This is the one I want to show you lah. Example C. So there's actually, yeah, there's so many laws. Okay, so oh no, is there no undo button? Oh dear, did I just mark off everything? Oh dear. Yeah. Okay, so law number 1 or 2, law number 5. Okay, this is the one. A to the power of m over n. Now this is different. Just now kita cakap A to the power of m, bila kita darabkan, okay, dia akan jadi A to the power mn lah. So this one, the indices are multiplied. But what if you divide the indices? Okay, if you divide the indices, it will become A to the power of n, m, okay, then root of n. Okay, this is what it becomes. Okay, so essentially saying, I like to use this example. If you understand this, then go ahead with it. Essentially saying that this m, okay, dia turun ke bawah, okay, dan dia jadi macam ni. And this n, okay, dia pindah ke sebelah. Letak macam ni, then kau letak satu rumah. Yalah, something like that lah. Okay, so the M turun ke bawah, N pindah across, letak satu rumah di sana. Okay, let me do a few examples just to show you. So for example, 2 to the power of A over B. So this will become 2 to the power of A root of B. Okay, begini saja. But remember, you can work it dari kiri ke kanan atau dari kanan ke kiri. We must be flexible that way lah. Another one, A to the power of 3 over 2. So this will be A to the power of 3 square root. Okay, punca kuasa 2. Atau another one, B to the power of 1 over 6. Ada juga begini ni. So this will be B to the power of 1. Tapi kita tidak tulis B to the power of 1. Kita hanya tulis B sahaja. Okay, so we never write this. We never write power of 1. Because B to the power of 1 is just B lah. Okay, but there is a root. Root of berapa? Root of 6. Okay, we move the 6 across. So that's why in this example, kau tengok, this is A to the power of 2, then di luar ada 3 bahkan. So dia tukar jadi A to the power of 2 over 3. Okay, essentially working dari kanan pergi ke kiri. Okay, and then this one is A to the power negative 3, and then over 2. So tengok, dia jadi negative 3 over 2. Now, same base, multiply, so the indices will be plus. Then bila kau plus ni, kau dapat negative 5 per 6, then you get, and as I said lah, there is no negative indice rule. So we bring it to down. Now, can I change this or this one? Okay, actually I can. If I want to change this to 2 over A, okay, saya buka rumah. Sini kuasa berapa? Sini kuasa 5. Sini kuasa 6. Can. Saya boleh tulis macam ni, but for what? Okay, this is so complicated lah. Okay, ini nampak jauh lebih senang. Lebih mudah dilihat lah berbanding dengan ini. So we usually avoid doing this if we can. Okay, because this makes matters more complicated. Okay, right, the last example. So you have this lah, A to the power negative half, then didarab dengan semua ini. Okay, so this is essentially, contohnya, let's say I use X times Y plus Z plus A, contohnya. So what happens is we multiply bahkan XY plus XZ plus XA. Very normal situation, which is exactly what is happening here. This is X, this is Y, this is Z, this is A. Okay, so XY, that's why they darab, plus XZ. Okay, minus because there's a minus here, then over here you get the multiplication. Okay, then over here disebabkan same base, multiply, so the indices dia tambah. Okay, number 2 kasih biar satu orang, indices tambah. This one indices also tambah. Negative half plus negative half. Okay, then you get a to the power of 1 plus 2a to the power of 0 minus 3a to the power of negative 1. Okay, now this one, as I said, kita tidak boleh ada jawapan negatif. Okay, so dia akan jadi 3 over a. A to the power of 1, we never write the power of 1, we just write it as a. Now this is the question that we need to know. So which brings me to the last and the sixth law. Okay, it's not really a law. The first three are the laws. These are all just this one. Anything kuasa kosong is equals to 1. Okay, this is it's not even a law for me, it's a rule. Okay, dia adalah peraturan yang sangat penting. Okay, anything kuasa kosong equals to 1. Okay, 2 to the power of 0 is 1. You don't believe? You press the calculator. 1 million to the power of 0 equals to 1. Okay, Sean to the power of 0 equals to 1. Marcus to the power of 0 equals to 1. Okay, so this is the sixth and the most important rule that people tend to forget, which is why di sini a to the power of 0 is equals to 1. Anything power of 0 mesti sama dengan 1. So 2 darab 1 akan jadi 2. And then from here, you cannot do anything already. Sudah kena simplify. Okay, so let me recap for you once again before I let you go and answer the exercise questions. Okay, let me recap for you once again what the 6 laws are. Now I feel so regret sebab saya terpadam semua. Alamak. Okay, so law number 1. Same base yang kena multiply, the indices will be plus. Remember, it works from right to left. Okay, if your indices are plus, okay, then your same base can be multiplied and you separate it out. Number 2, a to the power of m divided by a to the power of n atau a to the power of m per a to the power of n. Same thing. Okay, equals to a to the power of m minus n. The third law is if I multiply the indices, okay, equals to a to the power m n. Number 4, okay, this is the open house rule. A to the power m divided by n, this will be a to the power m, buka rumah, and then root of n. Number 5 and number 6, these three are technically not laws. Okay, they're just things that you have to remember. What's the fifth one already? Hold on now. Oh, okay. No, what's the fifth one? Oh, okay. So a to the power of negative m equals to 1 over a to the power of m. And lastly, a to the power of 0 equals to 1. Okay, I'm going to separate this because secara rasminya, these three are the laws. Ini tiga ini adalah pengetahuan that everybody should know by now. Okay, but I need you to know all 6 and also remember that it works both ways. Dari kiri ke kanan pun boleh, dari kanan ke kiri pun boleh. Jangan stuck sehala sahaja. Okay, so I'm going to leave this here and I'm going to assign you your work for today lah. So for today, please take out your workbook. Okay, please take out your workbook and I want you to attempt to do okay, page 40. Apa ini? Okay, so your work for today, alamak. Okay, your work for today is page 42 and page 43. Okay, question A and question B. I just want you to do the simplification first. Okay, page 42 and page 43, question A and question B. There are 18 questions altogether. Okay, 18 simplification questions altogether. Try to answer without looking at your answer book. Okay, I noticed that some of you when you don't know how to answer, you just salin everything from the answer book, which is okay. But try to do it first. Jangan terus, saya tidak tahu, terus kau salin jawapan daripada buku, which, kind of defeats the purpose lah. Okay, and and if you already finish this, okay, if you already finish this, what you can do is you can try some of the textbook questions. I won't make this compulsory lah. Okay. You can try the textbook questions in page page 92. Okay, you can try page 92, question number 1 and question number 2. These are more questions for you to try. But make sure that you finish the workbook question first. Okay, make sure that you finish the workbook question first before you try the textbook questions. Now, as I said, in order for you to be good at this chapter, you need to practice a lot and you need to commit to practicing. Kalau setakat menjawab soalan dalam buku teks bahkan, it's not enough actually. Okay, but it's a good start. Okay, and that's how you can become better at anything lah. Actually, that's how you become better at anything. You just have to commit to practicing. Okay, which is sometimes the difficult thing for some people lah. Okay, hold on dah. So I see one question over here. Cancer, tolong explain yang A kuasa kosong again kak. Okay. So this is this one. Anything to the power of 0 equals to 1. This is a rule. Anything to the power of 0 equals to 1. Okay, so I can write anything I want. Let's say x to the power of 0. Or immediately saya tahu jawapannya adalah 1. Saya tidak pun payah tahu apa nilai x. Anything to the power of 0 equals to 1. 200,000 to the power of 0 equals to 1. Okay, cuma 200,000 to the power of 1, okay, is 200,000 lah. Ini kita tahu lah. Okay, kalau kuasa 1 dia memang begini. Tapi anything to the power of 0 equals to 1. Okay, so it doesn't matter what the number is, what the letter is. Okay, it can be x, y, z. Everything of this to the power of 0 equals to 1. Okay, ini sangat-sangat penting. We must know this. Okay, I hope that explains your question. Okay, Funder says apa-apa yang gabung square kosong mesti equal to 1. That's exactly it. Okay, anything to the power of 0 equals to 1. Okay, any more questions that you want to ask? Let me just check the attendance while we wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 28, 29, 30. Not bad. Okay, good. Today is 30 out of 36. Okay, which is an improvement. But all right, so I'm going to leave you here. Please start with the workbook first. Okay, start with the workbook. Once you're done, you can ask us. Then you can answer the textbook questions. Okay, remember to be pro at this chapter, you have to practice. Okay, and do a lot of practice lah. Okay, so if there's any questions that you want to ask, you can always ask me in the group or you can ask me personally in DM. All right, have fun trying. Well, this is technically not a homework lah. Okay, yang kamu kena hantar. But as I said lah, if you want to be pro at this chapter, you have to practice. So I'm leaving it up to you lah. Kamu mau pro ke tidak? Okay, kalau kamu mau pro, kau kena practice. Kalau kau tidak mau pro, then why are you taking admits lah kan? Doesn't make sense. Okay, but yesterday's kerja, tolong hantar. All right, take care everyone. I will see you